When it comes to living our life, we live life in a conditioned way, conditioned by the beliefs, by stuff that's happened in the background, conditioned by the way we think life should be. And it's not until we actually start to challenge those beliefs and start to challenge that conditioning that we really start to look at how we live our life in our way. So how do you do life in your way? Well, for me, it's about going through a step-by-step process. And one of the things that helps to interrupt the thought process that holds us back from actually creating those change was an amazing technique that I discovered from the fabulous Mel Robbins of the 5-second rule. And that is about interrupting your thought pattern, because we are creatures of habit. Inevitably, we will get stuck in the habits that we know. And it's only when we start to change those habits that things really start to change. I read that we are conditioned as human beings, and actually we consider ourselves to be thinking beings that feel, and actually it's completely the other way around. We are feeling machines that think. And it was an amazing psychologist scientist that came up with that, because having studied a lot of human behaviour, that was what he learned, was that actually we are beings of emotion, and everything that we do in our lives is driven by that emotion. So how do we change it? Well, for me, it's about 8 steps. So the first step is you need to decide that you're going to make a change, and you need to pick one thing that you're going to change. Because when we start to do too many things at once, that's when it all starts to fall apart, because we get into overwhelm and then it just doesn't happen. The second thing is to pick the thing. So you've decided that you want to change, now you need to pick the thing. The next step for you is to then actually start working on being really clear as to why you want to change this thing. Because when you've decided why you want to change it, that is when magical things truly start to happen, because you've got a reason that it's anchored to. You notice that I'm looking over to my notes here because I want to make sure that I get all of this absolutely clear for you. The next thing then is to use the 5-second rule to interrupt the thought process. Now, I've written an article about this, which I will share below this video, so you can have a read of that as well, and it gives you a little bit more detail on exactly how to interrupt that thought pattern with the 5-second rule. Then the next step is we need to create a vision. We need to create a vision of what this actually looks like. Because when we vision something, our mind actually doesn't know the difference between what is real and what's not real. So then moving on to the next step, by practicing this on a daily basis, acknowledging the changes and actually committing to this change, it really starts to become real. The next thing then is all about believing and trusting that this can actually happen. Because if we don't believe that something can change, and if we don't believe it can happen, then the reality of it happening is very, very unlikely. The final step of this is doing it your way. So I've shared this with you, but it may be that actually you've taken this process and you've come across another mindset technique which is working really, really well for you. So maybe use that instead. The thing is there's so many people out there with so many different philosophies, and one of the ways that you are going to create this change is by listening to all of it and picking the bits that work for you. This is one of the things that I've used massively in being a parent. So many people give you advice. The thing is, you've got to pick the bits that work for you and that work for your child, and then you apply those, because that is when the magic happens. So being you is all you ever came here to be. Living your version of an unincorporated life is what you are here to do. So hopefully you found this useful. Subscribe to my channel and share this video. Maybe it will help somebody else. And if you want to have a chat with me about this, then drop me a note and let's have a conversation and see what I can do for you. Come and join me every single week for these videos, and also watch out, because Conversations with Clare TV will be coming really, really soon, where we will be doing weekly videos with amazing people that I'm interviewing, which is all about creating the lifestyle that you want to live and being unincorporated. I'll catch you really soon.